So I started my business just before the pandemic happened. And I was actually trying to be a spiritual coach for women and trying to get clients by posting video content on LinkedIn. But the only people who reached out to me were actually men. And so that was kind of the start of the journey of exploring how to help a different gender. What were their problems? What were their issues? How did they learn best? And through that, I really cultivated a strategy just for men, and I saw that they didn't have a lot of support, as much support as women did, and so that's kind of how I got there.
I think that makes a lot of sense because a lot of your content does have a spiritual undertone to it, and I really like a lot of the language that you use. It resonates with me a lot because I love getting into the polarity between men and women and like that divine masculine and feminine. I actually just posted a clip before you hopped on today from a previous guest, and we were talking about that. And his example was J Lo at the Grammys, where that clip that went viral, where she was kind of berating Ben, and he was just like sitting there, just defeated, and it's actually already getting so much feedback. And I would be really curious about your perspective when it comes to this polarity and being able to kind of manage it from a male's perspective, like advice maybe that you give some of your clients, and how do you navigate this new modern relationship that we find ourselves in, where women are leading with their masculine and maybe not being able to turn that off when they're home with their lover.
Yeah, this is such a juicy topic, and there's so much kind of question around it, and so much polarity just in how we feel. I think what a lot of people should understand is that everybody has masculine and feminine energy. It's a balance in both men and women, but you're going to have more of one or the other. And usually, if you're born male, you're going to have more masculine. If you're born female, you're going to have more feminine. Just kind of how it works, not always. But what's happened is with the independent movement of women, we have pushed ourselves into the provider roles, into a more masculine role. And what most of it is stemming from is actually fear. It's not necessarily just masculine energy. It's the fear that no one will take care of me. The fear if I let go of this independence, I won't have rights anymore. The fear that if I rely on a man, I'm going to be abandoned. And so a lot of men are witnessing the masculine energy in women, and what they're doing, instead of nurturing her to allow the feminine to come out, they're responding in true masculine form, which is offense. I
Mm.
challenge your masculine with my masculine. So it's kind of fighting fire with fire. And then they're kind of going away from the women, saying, no women want to be loyal today. No women want to take on the feminine today. And they're kind of running away from that. And I would suggest, if you really want to be in your masculine, create safe spaces for the feminine to blossom. And that's
Mm.
how you're going to see a surrender of so much masculine energy in the women that you're around, because they feel safe enough that they can trust you to take the lead.
So is there a way that you can start to kind of crack open that heart center for men to be able to hold a space or to be vulnerable or to be able to connect? Because I do agree. I think you see a lot of that like power. It's like that, when you push each other around, you just are met with more force. So it's like you just said, kind of villainizing women as a whole instead of saying like, no, what she really needs is to be like embraced in this moment, but because they're disconnected oftentimes with their emotions, they can't recognize that cue or it's very uncomfortable. So they'd rather fight than connect.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, like, I guess, do you have, like, how do you get a man comfortable with feeling or with emotions? Like, how do you lead that horse to water?
So, in order for him to create a safe space for the feminine, I don't necessarily think he has to get in touch with his emotions, because that's when we see him going into more of the feminine. This is actually what happens in relationships too, because she takes on so much of the masculine and is so hard strung on it. Relationships need balance. So,
Hmm.
the man will subconsciously start taking on the feminine and start, diving into the emotional side. And like you said, most men aren't taught really how to get in touch with their feelings, how to control it. So, it's very confusing for both people. Way that a masculine man can maintain his masculinity while in relationship with a masculine woman is to take lead without putting a lot of men will do this. They'll ask her, what do you need from me? Or what can I do for you? Or, they're going to give her the responsibility of deciding how to unburden her. So
Mm-hmm.
be a witness to where the burden is. Be a witness to how you can actually participate in leading, and just do that thing without asking, right? And this is kind of the argument between separating domestic household chores is a lot of men are like, well, I want to help around the house. She just doesn't tell me what to do. And it's like, she doesn't want to tell you what to do. She wants you to witness the chaos that's going on and take control of it and put an end to it. So whether you want to clean or not, get somebody to do it. Just handle it in whatever way you can, but don't also put the pressure on her, because you're still asking her to lead, and that's pushing her further into her mess.